Good afternoon, everybody, or the two of you watching this right now and everyone else who will watch the recording. We have come to the end of the line here for A&P Lab. This is our last worksheet, and it's probably one of the more straightforward ones of the online ones that we've had. So what I'm going to do is I'll briefly go over worksheet 10. I'll show you camps where you submit it. And then I'll briefly talk about the final exam, and then I'll let you guys work. So let me do that probably actually in reverse. Let's start by going to Canvas. Okay, so where you put this worksheet, so if this is your Canvas page, you scroll down, worksheet 10, you complete the document, and then you can submit it here. If you have a bunch of hand-drawn pictures, you can submit multiple things. So submit the Word doc all typed out, and then you can submit pictures from your phone of the drawings that you've made. Okay. I want to talk briefly about the exam first, and then I'll dive into what is involved for worksheet 10. So your lab practical is next Wednesday. It's on the 29th, and it is only 3 worksheets. It's worksheet 8, worksheet 9, which was that bio simulation thing. Worksheet 8, remember, was about the muscles. You had a big chart of muscles. Worksheet 9, you did a simulation about the nervous system, and then worksheet 10 is what we're working on now. It's the nervous system and our senses. There are 31 questions in the practical, 20 multiple choice, 1 true false, and then 7 what I call like very short answers, where your answer is just like a word or 2 words, max 5 words, and then 3 short answers that I'm asking you to either write a paragraph or like a bullet point list. Of those questions, 12 come from worksheet 8, only 3 come from worksheet 9, and 16 come from worksheet 10. Now, what that means is you want to study those kind of proportionally, so spend more of your time working on worksheet 8 and worksheet 10, which are learn all of those muscles, and then learn your different brain regions, your cranial nerves, all that nervous system, special senses stuff. Okay, you'll find the exam on the assignments tab as a final exam. You have an hour to complete the exam. You have to do it in one sitting, and you can do it at any point from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Keep in mind, however, my email policy is that for my own preservation here of separation between work and home life, I try not to check work emails after around 5 p.m. So if you decide to take your exam, say from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., that's great. You are more than welcome to do that. But know that if you run into a problem, I'm not going to be able to see that email until the next day. So again, you have from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You pick a window, a 1-hour window. It can be during lab time, so it can be 1:30 to 2:30. That's your 1-hour window. You take it in one setting. Please make sure before you begin that you have strong Wi-Fi. Going based on talking to other people and the other faculty members in the department and our chair, we can't give ad hoc time extensions for people based on complaints of, I have a slow computer, I have a slow internet. Before you begin, make sure you test it out. You got to find your best Wi-Fi, find your strongest internet, borrow someone's computer and make sure it's a working computer, and set yourself up for success, okay? If you finish in less than 45 minutes, I'll give you a 4-point bonus. If you take between 45 minutes to an hour, no bonus. I believe the exam should only take you about 30 minutes, is my assessment based on the fact that there are only 31 questions and most of them are very quick. Okay. Don't use any resources. Again, I'm not making you purchase proctoring software or pay for proctoring. So I'm just going to trust you that you're going to not use any resources and just take the exam. Okay. So that is the update on the test. Now I want to show you what you're supposed to do this week, that last worksheet that, again, a fair amount of the exam material is coming from. Okay, so that is my little Canvas announcement thing. Worksheet 10, here we go, worksheet 10. So worksheet 10 again, in your lab manual is exercises 17, 21, and 23 to 25. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to draw me a brain. I want you to draw me a brain, and I want you to label the 4 lobes of the brain. Then I want you to use your lab manual to find the function of all these brain regions. And then I want you to take these brain regions and I want you to put them onto your brain. So you draw a brain, you outline the 4 lobes. If you want to go get fancy, you can do them in like 4 different colors, you know. And then you outline all of these regions onto your brain pick. Okay, pretty straightforward. Then we're going to do the cranial nerves. Now for this and for a few of the activities, I'm asking that you find, if possible, you find someone in your house where you are quarantining, a roommate, a family member, to kind of be your test subject here. If you are alone and you can't, you're alone, you're not quarantining with someone, then just write test yourself when possible, and then for the later activities, write what you think would happen. Okay. So first we're going to start with our cranial nerve testing. I want you to do this either to yourself or to a friend who you're quarantining with. You write the cranial nerve, what it does, where it is in the brain, cranial nerve name, where it is in the brain, function, so what it does, and then I want you to test whether that cranial nerve is working. So for the first one, for olfactory, find 2 things in your house that are smelly and smell them. And you want to do this in a scientific way. So don't deeply sniff it. You want to do the science wafting. Waft the smell. And can you identify those smells? Is your olfactory nerve working? Okay. Then you're going to test your visual acuity. I have a little link here that will allow you to test eyes, do one eye and then the other, and then you tell me which eye was better. You see better with the left, you see better with the right. If you wear glasses, keep your glasses on. If you wear contacts, you can keep your contacts in. But usually, even with people who are wearing corrective lenses, there's still a better eye. For me, it's my left eye. Test yourself. Okay. Then you're going to either do this to your friend or have your friend do it to you. You're going to use like the flashlight on your phone, and you want to pass the light over their eye. So don't hold a flashlight into their eye. Be nice and just gently pass the light over and look at their pupils and see what the pupil does. Then you're going to make an H sign, a capital H letter with your fingers. So you're going to have the person follow my finger with your eyes without moving your head. You'll move it and you'll make an H in front of their face, and their eyes should move into all those different quadrants. That's testing for cranial nerve 3. Now, cranial nerve 4 says tested in common with cranial nerve 3. What that means is when you're having them follow your finger to make an H, you're actually testing 3 cranial nerves at the same time. So you don't write anything here. For cranial nerve 3, you just write, yes, they could follow the finger. Okay. Cranial nerve 5, you're going to gently touch their face and then have them clench their jaw. Does it hurt? No, it does not hurt. 6, tested in common. Okay. 7, raise your eyebrows. Yes, you can do that. Cranial nerve 8, you're going to have your friend close their eyes and you're going to rub your fingers together to make a gentle like whoosh, 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 whoosh sound. And so with their eyes closed, you'll put your fingers on one side of their face and they'll have to point to which ear they're hearing the sound from. Left ear, right ear, you go back and forth. You trick them, you do both at the same time. Go nuts, okay? Yes, they could hear that. Great. Then stick out their tongue. Is there uvula, so that thing hanging in their throat, is it in the middle when they say ah, or is it off to the side? Should be hanging nice in the middle. Then raise the shoulders, stick out the tongue. All that is the cranial nerve section. Okay. Then you're going to answer some questions about the autonomic nervous system, a reflex arc, and then you're going to test your reflexes. Now for this, the instructions ask you to use a ruler, but if you don't have a ruler, you can use a stick and just put some lines on the stick, try to make it like a straight one. And you're going to hold it 10 inches in front of the person's face and then drop it. And they want to like clap their hands and catch the ruler as it falls. And you're going to use the ruler to measure the distance that the ruler fell before they caught it. So you want to drop it with the 0-inch mark of the ruler facing down. And so that way when they catch it, you can easily see, oh, it fell 4 inches before they caught it. And you're going to do that 3 times. Then, and you want to be sneaky, like do it without warning. Drop the ruler. Okay. Then you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to say go and then drop the ruler. And again, do that 3 times. And then finally, you're going to do it with a random word that means go. So say, in my head, I'm thinking the word purple means go. And so I'm going to just say a bunch of colors like red, yellow, orange. And when I get to purple, I'll drop the ruler. And that is my trigger word And I'll keep that the same, and I'll do it 4 times, and we'll see, like, can they figure out, oh, purple is the word that means go, okay? And then you're gonna write down, you know, what happened, did you get better, etc. Okay. Then we're gonna switch gears, we're gonna talk about our eyes. You're gonna answer some questions about the eye, you're gonna draw me an eye and label all these parts. You're gonna look through the optical illusion PowerPoint, which I'll show you once I finish going through this worksheet. Then you're going to, of the optical illusions, just pick your 3 favorites and tell me how they work. Everyone looks at image 14, answer a question about color blindness, and then answer a longer question about light and how we see. Okay, and make sure you use, in your answer, you use these keywords up here in explaining how we see and how that's processed, and then why binocular vision is important. Okay, then you're going to do kind of the same thing with the ears. Draw me a picture of an ear, label all these parts, functions of the ear, answer how we hear, talk about sound waves, how they're processed, and then you're going to test your equilibrium. So you're going to do that walk that they make you do if they're testing for a DUI, where they put one foot and you put the next one directly in front of the other foot, kind of going like heel to toe. And you're going to do that and time how long it takes for you to walk about 10 feet going heel toe. Then you're going to spin around 10 times and try to repeat that and time yourself. And then compare. How did that work? Okay. Then you're going to finally answer a question about equilibrium, dynamic versus static equilibrium. And then there are some odds and ends questions, a few last things I want you to know about the nervous system that I think are important. Okay. So that is worksheet 10. I'll stick around if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, get to work on that, and next week will be your final, and then you will be done. So yeah, you guys are all set.